Alright, what's going on everyone? It's Super here, and welcome to another Mortal Kombat X video. And today, actually, while I do the intro, let me go back and turn on competitive mode to make sure everything's good, you know what I mean? But welcome to another tutorial for Injustice 2, and today we are covering the newest DLC characters that just came out yesterday. Well, for me, it's 2 days ago because it came out Monday night for Xbox One users. Don't know why, don't ask me, don't get mad at me. I'm just a content creator. But I think it's like a thing with Xbox updates their store before PS4 does. But anyway, I'm here to talk about Sub-Zero. Now, just quickly going over some general thoughts about Sub-Zero. I think he's a lot of fun. I think he's definitely one of the most, or the easiest character to learn in the game just on a basic level, so hopefully this tutorial isn't too long. He does great damage, he has really good defensive tools, and he has you know, just multiple ways to get in, of course, especially like with the slide. Mobility wise, I think he's pretty good. His back walk speed kind of sucks. Actually, it does really suck. It's really slow, but his forward walk speed is pretty good, and his backdash is good. But here we go. I would definitely recommend this character to any beginner. Alright, so Sub-Zero has a lot of good buttons. Let's talk about some of them here. Of course, you got a standing one, which is going to be your go-to punish. It goes into 1-1-1, into Ice Ball, or you could even stop it at 1-1. It's all fine. I said stop it at 1-1. You know, everything combos. But 1-1-1 is actually going to be your fastest punish because this starts up at 7 frames, I believe. It's stand 1 to 7 frames, yep. And the cool thing about his 1-1-1 string is that the third part is an overhead. So you can actually do this little mix-up where you go, instead of 1-1-1, you actually go 1-1 slide. And if you do have an ice clone out, of course, you go 1-1 slide into the ice clone. See, I guess, get a little bit closer. Oh, sorry. There you go. That shouldn't have taken that long. But then you could go into, you know, whatever combo you desire. But that is a little mix-up that you could definitely do, especially in the corner where your opponent has nowhere to backdash, nowhere to go. You could start mixing his command grab, of course, is low, and then you could start going with this, and of course this ends in overhead, and you could even go 1-1-1 into slide, you know, overhead low, pretty fast. But I wouldn't really recommend doing this too much, to be honest, because the slide, if it gets blocked, of course you're gonna get punished. But moving on here, his back 1-1 is back. Pretty much everything I'm gonna be talking about is from Mortal Kombat X, but the low is back. Back 1-1, it's -9, and back 1-1 down 3, which is, you know, a triple low. It is punishable, and it's a lot easier to punish in this game than it was in Mortal Kombat X because there's a lot more mids that are really fast, that are really good. For example, whenever I played versus Superman players, they had an easy time punishing my back 1-1 down 3 with forward 2. You know, it's very easy for them because there's a lot of mids in the game that are really fast. So you have to be careful when you choose to use it. Down 1 is the same as it was in Mortal Kombat X, 7 frames. It's of course a nice counter poke. The only down ones that are faster are 6 frames, you know, so he's up there with some of the fastest down pokes in the game. And it's +14, so once you get this going, you can pretty much start your offense. His stand 2 is actually something that I didn't use on day 1 of Sub-Zero, and it's a really good mid. The reason for it is it goes into an amazing combo string, which is 2-2. Now 2-2 you could actually cancel into Ice Ball, get a full combo, but if your opponent blocks it and you want to stay safe, you could go into 2-2-3, which is a completely safe string. It's only -2, and if you do hit your opponent with the last part, you could actually slide. It's a tight link, but you could actually slide for a little bit extra damage. But 2-2 on block is actually a completely safe ice clone cancel. So if you're playing versus a character like Aquaman, that I use as an example, that has, you know, a lot of tools to deal with the clone without really putting himself in danger, he can't do it with 2-2 because there's too much block stun after the clone, and he's not going to be able to you know, get a, let's just say forward 2, you know, the scoop that he does with his Triton. He can't get that for free if you cancel clone into from 2-2. So this is a completely safe move. This is something that I'm going to start using a lot. Another really positive thing about this string is that it recovers pretty quickly. As you guys see right here, it recovers pretty quickly. So not only do you have the threat of going 2-2 into clone, completely safe clone option, you could also finish the string, but you could also stagger it. And what staggering means is you do a specific combo that could go into multiple options. So option number 1, finish the string. Option number 2, clone cancel. Option number 3, just do the string and then maybe down 1 check, or maybe keep going with your offense. So 2-2 is a really, really good string. Not only that, but it's also 10 frames. It's just a really good string. You know, you have a lot of time to hit confirm it, so you could kind of see if your opponent gets hit by it and either call clone or, you know, go into your ice ball. So definitely use 2-2 a lot. It's something, like I mentioned, that I didn't really use on day 1. Now another good mid that he has is forward 2. This I didn't use as much. Same thing with standing 2-2. I was more trying to go up close and use this, which, you know, I definitely should be using this a lot more. 2-2 is one of those strings that you could punish your opponent for making a little mistake, like if he, you know, accidentally does a special move that he doesn't want, which we all get sometimes. And if you're in this range, of course, forward 2 is going to punish it because it's a forward advancing mid. It's 12 frames, which is not the slowest mid in the game. It's pretty fast for being this like forward advancing. Not only that, but it goes into forward 2-2, which advances Sub-Zero even forward. So if you do even miss that, you know, you could still go into his forward 2-2, and I'm pretty sure you're completely safe if you don't do anything afterwards. Well, -8. Let's see how much block stun it has. For some characters, you're going to get punished, maybe a down 1. You know, there aren't too many characters that are going to punish this, even at -8. You might get down 1, but of course, you know, if you want, you could go into clone cancel, but not versus characters like Aquaman. I'm going to keep referencing Aquaman just because he's so good. I hate Aquaman. But his Triton, like, doesn't have a hurt box, so he has pretty much the range of a god. You know, he could, with his Triton, he could get away with a lot of things that many characters cannot. Sort of reminds me of Alien from MKX before they gave a hurt box on his tail. So forward 2-2, definitely use it. And you guys know the deal on hit. If you do forward 2-2, 1+3, it sends your opponent flying to the other side. And you can, you know, in turn do something like this. Get your opponent on the ice clone, and then, you know, do whatever combo you want. I'll talk about that ice burst. That was supposed to be a command grab, but you guys know sometimes a command grab is hard to do, down, back, forward. But we'll get to that in a bit. His down 2 is really good. Now, his down 2, what I found out playing the Sub-Zero mirror match is when someone clones me, the Sub-Zero sword could actually go through the clone because the Sub-Zero sword does not have a hurt box, meaning it's not going to freeze. It's not going to cause you to freeze if your sword goes into the ice clone. So a lot of Sub-Zeros versus me, what they were doing is I would put down an ice clone, I would try to advance, and they would do down 2, and since it doesn't have a hurt box, you know, it's if I run into it, obviously I'm gonna get hit by it. Also, it's a good anti-air in general. If someone's like jumping in on you, throw one of these in there. Another thing you could do is you could actually use it as a combo extender. So you could definitely do something like this. You know, freeze your opponent. If you do get them into this, you know, you could pick whatever combo you want. That does a little bit more, but this definitely looks a lot cooler than the other option. But, you know, down 2, of course, in this game, actually launch your opponent and you could do combos afterwards. And you could, you know, 2-in-1 cancel them. So there's some cases where I don't know how to do them, but you can get combos where you do it down 2 and you ice ball and you continue your combo that way. I've been seeing the computer do it, but the computer does some crazy ass combos. Like, I can't do it. There you go. See, stuff like that you could definitely do. You just have to get the timing down right. You have to be a lot closer. You have to actually walk forward a little bit. So stuff like that looks really cool because only in this game can you actually combo from an ice ball, because the regular one does not freeze. So you could actually combo from an ice ball, and the ice ball does pretty good damage. So stuff like that is something you could get done with Sub-Zero's down 2 because it's pretty good, man. So let's talk a little bit about some other combo strings. Actually, I think I got all of them. Let's talk about this one a little bit. So this combo string is back from Mortal Kombat X. It's a good one because there's a sneaky low in there, and there's been many times, even in MKX, after like 2 years, where I get hit by the low. It's just something that happens, guys. You could stop the combo on the second string on the low and actually connect an ice ball. So it's always good to, you know, to have a low that goes into an ice ball. And if you don't want to risk that, you know, you just go into your entire string. On block, you could call the clone. It's not completely safe versus all characters. Just keep that in mind. You could also combo into his forward, his meter burned forward 3 or back 3 from this. You know, so you could do that, and you could do that. So if you do want to, you know, spend a little bit extra meter, or maybe you want unflashable damage, you know, you go for this. As far as his combo strings, I think I talked about all of them. So his best combo strings for me are 1-1-1, just because it's a completely, I was about to say completely safe. It used to be safe in MKX. It used to be -5, but I guess they gave it an overhead, so they bumped up the negative frames a little bit. This string is really good. A lot of people get caught by the overhead because you could combo this. It's going to be your main punish, so that's just a good string in general. 2-2, amazing string. It goes into this, completely safe. And look at the range on the second hit. Like, the range on the second hit is really good as well. And it does, the ice ball does freeze no matter where the opponent is. So 2-2, 2-2-3, really good string. One of his main openers is back 1, just because it does start off at a low. It's a double low. You could also do this if you want. That reminds me of the old Cryomancer combo. I don't believe it. Yeah, 1 doesn't connect. And it wouldn't really be a mix-up either because this is kind of reactable. There you go. Just complete the combo. That's all I wanted. And of course, this combo that I'm doing right now, I didn't really talk about it too much, where I should... Did I miss back 2? Yeah, I did miss back 2. Okay, so bad tutorial. Back 2 is a 9-frame high that goes, you know, a little bit beyond character length. Like 1 step beyond character length. And I really didn't find any good use for this unless it's in a combo. With back 2, you could actually use it to soften up your opponent's landing. Not only that, but for some reason it doesn't scale as much as, you know, something like this, or like the down 2, of course, it scales like crazy. So if you do get like a combo, this would be like a general combo that I would do, a basic combo that I would do. So that does, you know, 400 damage pretty much. And it's very easy to do. You know, you do a jump 3 and then you soften your opponent's landing with this. It adds an extra hit. Like I said, it doesn't scale as much. And then you go into your back 2-3 again. So I think that's it for the regular strings. Let's move on to the specials. Talked about the ice burst already. If you meter burn it, the shoulder is actually plus on block. It is +3 on block. In the corner, it's pretty good. Right here, you know, you kind of don't really get anything mid-screen. Corner, it's good. But ice burst is, you know, one of those moves to end your combo strings. Now, keep in mind that there is a gap in between all these. But if your opponent doesn't know about it, you're going to stay safe all the time because ice burst is -4 on block. Now let's talk about his command grab. Now, command grab, sloppy motion. His command grab is really good. It is a hard knockdown, but it doesn't guarantee you it guarantees you a clone, but it doesn't guarantee you a clone with pressure. The only string that does that is back 1-1, down 3, just because it recovers so fast. As you guys saw right there, it recovers really fast, so you could get a clone while your opponent is just about to get up. So if you want some plus frames, if you want some pressure with the ice clone, end your combos in back 1-1, down 3. Because that'll grant you a clone with pressure. But the command grab is good for multiple reasons. Obviously, you know, it extends combos. If you start your combo off with the command grab, or if you get your opponent on something like this, meter burn back 3, you know, you combo that. And then you could freeze your opponent, and that's already at 37%. And there's multiple situations in which you could actually get a unblockable interactable setup, which I will demonstrate right now. All right, here we are on Kondak, and yeah, competitive mode is on. So let's just say you freeze your opponent around here, right? So if you press down and the interactable button, you're actually going to get a bomb that goes off on the interactable. So if you freeze your opponent either with, you know, the ice ball or with the command grab, you could get a free unblockable interactable, and there's nothing your opponent could do about it. So I'll show you guys, I'll demonstrate for you guys here. So you do that, you jump in, boom, and that is your unblockable interactable. Now I'm going to use Sub-Zero here, show you guys that you can't jump out of it. Whoops, too far. All right. All right, so let me try to jump out of this. So you guys see by my commands, I'm holding up, and that is a guaranteed unblockable interactable for Sub-Zero. And this applies to any time that you are on the stage that has these exploding interactables. You know, it works on the Redstone Prison. It works on a bunch of other interactable stages. So I'll demonstrate to you guys again. Of course, my inputs are these right here. I'm on the left side inputs. I'll show you guys that it is actually a guaranteed unblockable interactable. I'm mashing on up. I'm gonna hold up now, up back, and I got hit. Completely unblockable. And you know, just the explosion alone does a huge chunk of damage, and of course, you could actually get a back 3 after this. You could do a back 3, and then here I'll show you guys an actual combo with it. So that's like a little, you know, you go for a reset afterwards if you want. That's a little example of, you know, unblockable situation in which you could get these setups with Sub-Zero, because you guys know there's unblockable interactables in Injustice 2 for some reason. So, like I mentioned, if you're in any map that has these, you could get a ton of damage with Sub-Zeros. That's just one, you know, use for the command grab. Of course, you could do that, like I mentioned, with the Ice Burst. You could do that with this as well. You know, you go back, you jump in. If you're around this range. Same thing. Same thing with the Ice Ball. But back to the command grab. The command grab is something that I'm kind of disappointed about, and maybe because you can do stuff like that, they toned it down a little bit, because I do remember NetherRealm saying that it was going to be a true command grab, meaning that you cannot duck under it. Just like Bane's command grab, and just like, you know, a few other characters in the game, you cannot duck their command grabs. Now, it's different for whoops, Sub-Zero. You could actually go under his command grab completely, and if you miss your command grab, you're gonna get punished like crazy, because, you know, it has such high recovery. And something that doesn't work with Sub-Zero anymore are the tick grabs. The like block down one into command grab does not work anymore, because all you have to do is just hold down. Slide, don't really need to talk about it. It's his best wake up. It's a really good mobility tool. As you guys see, it recovers pretty quickly. This actually goes under Deadshot's meter burn rifle, but you have to already be sliding to go under it. So I believe you could react to him starting up the projectile, but the point is, you know, it goes under a lot of projectiles because he just goes so low to the ground. It's a really good low profiling move. And like I said, if you're from full screen and your opponent is throwing projectiles or shooting projectiles, you can use this as a mobility tool, just like that. And now you're in. So definitely use the slide a lot, but be careful because if they block it, you know, it's goodbye. Now we move on to the clone. Now the clone is pretty straightforward in its basic uses. This is only day 2 for me, so I haven't really found too much stuff, but I have seen people do a double ice clone combo, which I think is pretty fucking cool. So let's just say you know your opponent's gonna wake up mid-screen and you do something like this. You could actually double ice clone. Double ice clone and then freeze them again and go for, you know, whatever ender you want. I think that's pretty fucking cool. You could do it off stage interactions too. You have to be careful though. On some you might have to walk forward a little bit. You know, I haven't really thought of too many combos, but it's awesome that you could actually get a double ice clone combo. I think that's so awesome. So I'll come up with some combos in the future. You guys will see them in videos, but I think that's awesome. Same thing with, you know, if you use an Interactable, you could do this, make it a little easier to do that, and then, you know, finish off whatever combo that you want to do. You could also do the ice clone in the air. I said you could do the ice clone in the air. I'm trying to do it as low as I can to the ground. It does take some practice to get it like really low, because if you do it too early, it's not going to come out. But as you guys see, you could do it in the air. I haven't really found too much use for it in an offensive way. Of course, the defensive way is pretty obvious, right? You know, you have protection in the air from jump-ins. So it's pretty clear it's a really good defensive tool. But like offensively, I haven't really found a good use for it. Maybe you could do something like that. I'm not sure. That looks awesome. But like I mentioned, aerial ice clone, really good for defensive tool. Now the ice clone, when you call it in, you have to press the trade button again to toss it. You could toss it downwards by pressing downwards and trade button, and you could shatter it by doing your ice burst. Now the one change that didn't make it from MKX is that you can no longer combo from the ice shatter, the ice clone shatter. And they removed that because it was pretty crazy how much damage you could get with it in Mortal Kombat X. Easily 45% every touch. And, you know, in the corner, Sub-Zero still has really good options in the corner. Like, it's still scary to have Ice Clone in front of you, where even if your wake up is invincible, who cares? Because I'm not challenging you at the start of your invincibility. By the time you do your special move, it's gonna hit the ice clone and you're gonna get frozen, put back into a 350% combo, back into a knockdown, back into ice clone. You know, so that's where the ice clone still is incredibly scary in the corner. But that about does it for the Sub-Zero tutorial. I hope you guys learned some stuff. Hope you guys learned some combos. Just to show you guys the pretty standard bread and butter combo that I do with Sub-Zero would be something like this. Jump 3, back 2, back 2, 3 into command grab. That is a very straightforward combo. In the corner, if you think your opponent is going to do a wake up and you don't want to do the clone, or maybe you don't have the clone and you make the right read, the most damage that I found was probably like doing a late jump 3, stand 1, and then go into late jump 3 and then go into that. That's the most damage that I found. Could also, oops, you could also do the same method right here. And for some reason, like stand ones don't scale as much as, you know, something like the combo that I was doing. So I think this combo actually does a little bit. Oh, one combo that I was messing around with a little bit was something. Oh, I can't do it here. Here, let's go to the other side of the stage. Let's see, left side, reset position. Where? Here we go. So one combo that I was messing around with a little bit, because like the stand ones for some reason, you know, don't scale as much. I don't know if it's just me, but I was like, go back a little bit and then do jump 3, and then you do two stand ones, and then you go into this string, or you go into your 1-1-1, whichever one you guys pick. But as you guys see, it does a little bit more damage, like 10 more points of damage. Might not be significant, but if you are in a late game situation, you know, all the damage counts, right? So yeah, ending it in this does a little bit more damage, but that about does it for the Sub-Zero tutorial. I know I said I didn't want this to be long, but I went on really long because I actually demonstrated to you guys the unblockable setup and all that. But overall, I think you guys will enjoy this tutorial. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think of Sub-Zero, and other than that, I will see you guys next time. What's going on? It's Super here, and thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys subscribed if you are not already. Also, check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.